Namaste. A very warm welcome to each one of you joining us today from every corner of the world. It's my great privilege to welcome you all to this very special International Youth Day celebration, the soft launch of InterAct, rediscovering your core goodness with youth, by youth, for youth. As youth, we are the leaders of tomorrow, but also we are the change makers of today. And when we act from our highest values, we inspire a world of compassion, unity, and hope. And today, we here gathered as one global youth family to pause, reflect, and reconnect with our innate goodness. This program is an invitation to embark on a blissful journey of awareness, contemplation, and transformation. Three steps that bring us closer to our innate self. It's such a joy and immense pleasure to be connected with so many bright youth leaders, educators, and change makers from across the world. And on this beautiful occasion of International Youth Day, the soft launch of InterAct. Round of applause for each one of us joined here today. And today is about rediscovering the new me through the journey of ACT framework. A stands for awareness, recognizing our innate peace, power, love, happiness, and truth. C, contemplation, nurturing these qualities through reflection. T, transformative silence, the space where inner wisdom blossoms. And this 1 hour is just not an event, it's a gentle reminder for, of who we truly are. So let us begin with open hearts and fresh minds. So, without any further delay, let's begin with the journey of rediscovering the core goodness. I invite our today's honorable special guest, the global youth icon, the global leader, the main representative of Brahma Kumaris of United Nations, an inspiring personality, Sister Gayatri from the US, to share with us the vision of BKUN for today's youth and why rediscovering core goodness is so vital at this time. Put your hands together and let's welcome Sister Gayatri. Over to you, Sister Gayatri.
So thank you very much for that introduction. I don't have an adjective to say whether what you say about me is true or not, but I do recognize the role of the young generation. And by young generation, I mean that not just the generation Z and the budding alphas, but also the millennials and even the generation X, as they're called. They're all together in bringing new thought, bringing new feelings, and consequently new directions to the future of this world that is becoming more and more so pluralistic, so polarized, that if the generations that are having a future to look forward to, if those generations don't come together and create a shift of consciousness, as I call it, then we wouldn't be having a future to look forward to. And so I think that ACT is an initiative that is speaking loud and clear to the inner strength of that the future depends on, actually, but in a collective consciousness, the collective wisdom of the young people. And so I'd like to start with a story. Actually, I read that was featured in the New York Times, and it was about the Generation Z. And the Generation Z are, of course, people now who are beginning their first jobs, and usually first jobs as students would be in places like Starbucks and places like Dunkin' Donuts and places, such places, because they're now getting their first jobs, right? So it was called the Gen Z stare. They say that the Generation Z has a stare. They just stare at you. Now, from a spiritual perspective, I said, how wonderful, because we have something that is called divine vision. And we look straight at the person as a being, as a soul in their own right. And we reaffirm the dignity and worth of that person's being first before I look at the extensions of the being. So it's a wonderful thing. But I wanted to find out what really they meant by stare. What are they staring at? So they say that if you spoke to a Gen Z and says, could you give me directions from Times Square to to the Statue of Liberty? They would go, a blank stare. And then they would say, well, did you just hear me? And they would say, what? And then they would pick their phones up and said, staring at the phone, okay, well, did you just hear me? Well, I'm trying to find out where it is. And they just have this blank stare. And so then they interviewed one of the girls who was now responding to having this blank stare. She says, you know what? We're dealing with a world of adults who are confused. And she says, let me give you an example. I'm working at Starbucks, and the adult came in and said, I would like uh, a sandwich, and I would like this sandwich without cheese. I'm a vegan. And then she said, okay, ma'am, I'm going to get you the sandwich. And then the adult said, well, I would like it with jalapeno, and I would like it with the jalapeno cheese. And she says, but you just told me that you're a vegan and you don't take cheese. She says, well, this is what I want. She said, well, what am I supposed to do? I have to stare. I have to have this blank stare because she's telling me what she doesn't want. And yet she's ordering the same thing that she's saying she doesn't want. And when the Gen Z says, when I'm trying to explain it to her, she says, I want to see your boss. So the manager then came, and the manager then kind of said to her, well, madam, you are ordering what you're saying you don't want. So she says, well, we're living in a world in which we're dealing with a whole bunch of adults who are confused. They don't even know what they want in terms of the food that they want to eat. So that was a very telling story. I mean, it was a muse. This girl was very beautiful, very strikingly beautiful, this Gen Z. And the way she was speaking, she was full of expressions. So I see ACT is something that will be a little bit challenging for those who are bringing it into a world that seems to be confused at many different levels. And they have a saying, they could even be confused at a more elevated level. So the more you bring these elevated concepts to them, they might seem even more confused. But you know what? That should not deter you from the path that you are embarking on, because not only are you acting, but you are interacting. You are acting among the generations. You are acting at interbeing. And so interbeing means you are asking people to be aware. That's an inner phenomenon. Awareness is an inner phenomenon. You're asking them to contemplate. That is thinking deeper into concepts, going to the level of meaning, not just having words that are empty, but every word I speak, there is a commitment to that word. It carries a commitment. And when I don't have that inner power, that inner strength to be consistent with the awareness I have and the words that are emerging from that awareness, then those words are meaningless. They are not trusted. And the easiest way to destroy trust is to say something, but not to bring it to a reality. And so I feel that it's an interacting, you're interbeing, and we're living in an interconnected world. So through our actions, through the transformation, it cannot be transformation in isolation, but transformation has to occur at a level of connecting the dots, of interconnecting and interdependencies. And so I see that what we are dealing with, if I were to have a visual image for InterAct, I would have like taproots. So everyone participating in InterAct will be a person that is like a taproot. You know, carrots are taproots, beets are taproots. And these are roots that are main roots, but they feed other roots and they nurture other roots. So I feel that this project for me carries the taproot phenomenon, in which we are going to be, you as well as with our support and our participation, we will be moving, but it's more of an underground phenomenon. It is something that is moving through the world like the roots do, but are not seen. But yet without the roots, there can be no sapling, there could be no plants, there could be no fruits. And so to me, this is what the future is calling on us to do. It's to move through in a very incognito, in a very covert way, you know, a little bit like Václav Havel did when he was creating a revolution in Czechoslovakia. And he wrote the book, Disturbing the Peace. You know, so when you work at that deep level, and he used to have these conversations, you know, in underground kind of basements, basically, and yet it created such a revolution. But we're not creating a revolution. We're actually creating something that is connecting people to their inner goodness. And we're doing it with the taproot kind of approach, with a lot of resilience, because taproots are very, very resilient, but they nurture with that resilience. And then we're also doing it in the silence of a space that is sacred, a silent, sacred space that's very nurturing, and it's very understanding, and it is very motivating, and it's also very inspiring. So I would say one caution, however, I noticed that one of your qualities is empathy. And usually I had given a talk on compassion fatigue. And one of the causes of compassion fatigue was empathy. And I feel that empathy is a lovely word. It's a lovely virtue, but we must be careful that it does not lead us to compassion fatigue, because empathy, as is described in the world of psychology, is something that you feel that is happening in someone else. You're experiencing their experience. But I feel that make sure you don't absorb it. So I will leave you with this kind of juxtapositioning of two words. In exercising empathy, which is very much needed in the world, people need to know that people are recognizing the pain, the grief, the sorrow, the fear, the doubt, the anxiety that is going on within them. But in having that empathy, observe it, but do not absorb it. So the two words, you will observe, but you would not absorb. And so with these few comments, I congratulate the initiative. I congratulate the courage with which you are embarking on the world stage with this powerful initiative. And I know that with your zeal and enthusiasm, with your courage and your confidence, and with seeing yourself as instruments to bring about a future based on collective wisdom and collective collaboration, I think it will be a very, very successful event. So I garland each one of you with the garland of victory, and I endorse for you success as your birthright. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sister Gayatri, for showering your blessings and heart touching guidance. To remind us that rediscovering our goodness is not just about self growth, but also about being instruments of hope for the world. Grateful and blessed to have such an enlightening personality among us today. Thank you so much, sister, for your precious time and unshakable love and support for all the youths. Thank you so much. Now, to bring some joy and connection into our space with an energizing icebreaker, let's play, connect, and recharge together with our very special guest and energizing personality, Miss Kelly Crisp, the Vice President, International Organization of Youth. Miss Kelly, the floor is yours.
Hi, good morning, where you are, good afternoon, good evening. I am in New York right now, so it is morning time for me, and it is a little bit rainy here and overcast today. I'm hoping for some sunshine. I am Kelly Crisp. I'm the Vice President of the International Organization of Youth. And we are based in New York City, and we have a conference called the International Youth Conference that happens twice a year in New York and once in Los Angeles. But we attract people from all over the world. So I'm happy to be in this space right here today where all of you are coming from all over the world in so many different places. And yeah, so for this icebreaker, I would love to know about you. I would love to know where you are in the world right now. And, I'm in New York City and the weather here is overcast. So tell me where you are and tell me what the weather is like where you are. Feel free to unmute and say hello, your name, where you are, and the weather there. And if you could put that into the chat as well, you can feel free to use emojis to describe the weather. Let's get this interactive. Let's see, we've got, oh. Okay, India, hello. Good evening from India, Manat. Ayako in Japan, 37 degrees. Manat, hello. Murali in Malaysia, and it's raining. Okay, of course. Some rainy days. I think it's rainy season in some places. Rain during the Safia. Good evening in India, where you are, Vishali. Iowa, Yuki in Iowa. Sunshine. Sakshi, it's raining. Yes. Greetings from Hong Kong. Oh, greetings to you. Here we go. Yes. Ishwani, it's raining. Yes, it's raining in lots of places. I think this is like Sister Gayatri was saying, we need the rain. Sometimes we need a little rain for the roots. A lot of what we're doing is underground, where we're growing, where we're getting our nutrients, and we definitely need the water. Good evening from India. Okay, now I would love let's check in with ourselves and say a word or two about how you're feeling today. Emotionally, how you're feeling, or just how you're feeling physically. Today, I'm feeling happy to be joining you all in the community. Also a little nervous because my internet connection has been lately, not so great. So I think I would say that I'm mostly feeling very happy to be meeting people in this community. So give me a word or an emoji for how you're feeling. I would say nervous, excited. Yes. Now let's all think about, if we can, let's think about an exercise that we can do together to kind of get grounded and get a little energized. One thing I really love to do is, if you can, please do this with me and just raise your arms up. And let's just get some space in here where you can breathe and take a big deep breath in. Maybe do this a couple of times. Whatever you can do to start feeling like, okay, I'm getting some good oxygen in here, to do a nice breath together. Karen in Malaysia, a little tired. It's been a long day. I hear that. Blessings to you, Ayako. Happy and excited. Me too, Sakshi. Okay, so I want to do something really important, and it's to say one thing that we're grateful for. If you're feeling gratitude, maybe you're not, I don't know, but let's think about it. First thing that comes to mind is fine. What can we say today? What can you say today that you're feeling grateful for right now? Doesn't have to be anything big. It can be something very simple. In a mindfulness practice recently, someone asked me what was I grateful for, and the first thing that came to my mind is my mother, who was not there. So it just sort of popped into my mind. Oh, I'm grateful for my mother for reading books to me when I was a little kid. That's such a vivid memory. Write into the chat a thing that you are grateful for, a person, a experience, a feeling. Safe and positive environment like this one. Indeed. Yeah, I feel that. Let's acknowledge this space. I think community is one of the most important things we can be putting our energy into. Grateful for being connected with so many great personalities. Me too. I'm feeling that too. Almighty God. Yes. Keep these coming into the chats. So yeah, I'm really I'm loving what people are saying here in the chats. Please do keep sharing with us something that you are grateful for. And I really think that having this space together is a really nice thing to acknowledge, because I really want to give my gratitude to the people who are organizing this event today, because we have a moment to come together and create this community between us. I think one of the big things we do at the International Organization of Youth is community capacity building and thinking about what do you have right now and what can we share with each other? How can we put some energy into what our common goal is? Whether that's coming together at a conference, I mean, maybe you get something, some networking out of this, you make some friends, you see some people in a space where who are sharing the same kinds of ideals and goals that you have. That's really valuable. And it does take effort to put these events together. So I really appreciate everyone being here today because it takes all of us coming together and showing up. All of the change that we want to see, it doesn't happen immediately, but everything that we do in the moments matters. And we are participating all of the time in this, um, becoming what we want to see. And that's a real literal thing that we're doing all the time. All of the choices that we're making, they matter. Being in community is a choice, and I really appreciate seeing you all here today. Grateful to be part of the BK family and learn and grow and do service together. Grateful for the session today. Yes. All right. Thank you so much. I mean, I'm feeling really like the sunshine might break through here in New York City, and I hope it does, but I'm feeling sunshiny on the inside, and a lot of you are giving me that feeling. A lot of this gratitude that's coming around is giving me this really great feeling that we have this shared space. Okay. So when we're in here, put your country name in the bracket. Yes, that's a great idea. Put your country name in the brackets in your, this is a suggestion from Mirali here. Okay, now let's do one more breath together and get the arms up again. And we are here together right now. And I'm so happy to be here with you right now. Okay, Sakshi, back over to you. Let's get started and have a positive outcome here. And
We
can
are
you hear me
glad to
okay,
have
Sakshi?
you here with us today. Thank you, Miss Kelly. That was such a refreshing, sunshining start, I feel. It's true, when heart smiles together, the world feels lighter. And now let's begin with our ACT journey with the first step, awareness. I invite youthful Yuji from Japan, who will guide us to reconnect with our inner treasures of peace, love, happiness, and truth. As wise saying goes, we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Yuji, please take us forward.
Hi everyone, welcome. I'm actually 16, if you were wondering. But as a member of the youth, I really see how important it is to have awareness nowadays, you know? And I'm really glad everyone's here. Today we're going to explore this first step of ACT, and that's awareness, you know? Awareness is not just about, knowing what's happening, but it's about noticing what's really present in our lives and what's happening inside of us and around us. Not just judging it or trying to change it, but just accepting it and letting it be. That's something that's really missing in our world nowadays. And it's something very important that we notice and accept. So we're going to take a few moments to practice that in a little bit so you can feel it for yourself. And remember, there's no right or wrong way to do this. It's just noticing. In a little bit, we'll do that. But first, I want to talk about why awareness is so important. Um, you know, when we notice what's happening inside of us, our feelings, our strengths, our challenges, we can really start to understand ourselves better. I feel that a lot of us nowadays are lost. You know, it could be our jobs being difficult, schools being difficult, people are being difficult. But, what's most important is our relationship with ourselves and understanding who we are. And awareness helps us recognize the qualities that we already have, even if we don't already see them. It's the first step in being able to reflect and make choices and then grow. Because everything really starts with being aware. And you can't really work on something if you don't know what's going on inside you? For me, that really came clear during COVID, and I was feeling lost. I think I was like 13, 12 maybe. I was very young at the time, and COVID hit, and I started feeling really lost and lonely because I was locked in my room the whole day. And I felt like I lost my sense of direction in life. And it seemed like everyone else was doing better than me. And I started to believe that I didn't matter. I started to believe that I was so insignificant, whether I was here or not, it doesn't matter. I didn't matter. And so I shut down, you know. I ate my feelings out and I drifted through every day. And I stopped wanting things, wanting to do things. I stopped aspiring to do anything. And the more I did that, the worse I felt about myself. And, you know, it became a tough loop to get out of. And what really started changing things was giving myself space to reflect again, to understand and accept without judging. And that happened when I moved to Japan. I restarted meditating and asked myself the harder questions. And I realized that the biggest barrier wasn't that I was actually useless, it was that I believed that I was. And that belief shaped everything. And becoming aware of that gave me the chance to challenge it and change. So I slowly started to build value in myself little by little. And that awareness gave me a fresh start, almost like, you know, being reborn. It really showed me that awareness is the first step to transformation. And I truly believe that it's the first step in understanding yourself and accepting yourself and the environment that you're in. And today we'll get a chance to notice both the space you're in and yourself and everything right here, right now. And so I'd like everyone, if you're listening, to open your chat boxes and let's do a short practice together. Everyone get comfortable. You can close your eyes if you want. If not, that's okay as well. Just be relaxed and be calm in the moment. And we're going to go through 5 steps to notice ourselves and our surroundings. First, I want you to notice 5 things that you can see around you. Look around in the room that you're in your space that you haven't really paid attention to before. Take a moment and notice 5 things in your room. Accept, don't judge, don't think, just notice. Yeah, it's very important. And now I want you to notice 4 things that you can hear. Even quiet sounds in your room, even just silence, that's good enough. Notice and listen without judging or labeling or, you know, putting any sort of emotion to that feeling. Just accept it. And now shift to your body. Notice 3 sensations. Maybe it's your feet on the floor, your hands on your desk, or your breath in your chest. Maybe it's your heartbeat, anything. Notice 3 things that you're feeling right now. And finally, I want you to think of one quality that you'd really like to carry forward and own in the future. Something that you appreciate about yourself and something that you want to let everyone know. It could be something like calmness, curiosity, focus, confidence. It could be enthusiasm, determination. It could be anything. Just keep that quality in mind and make sure you can carry it forward and make everyone understand and experience. Be aware of this. Take a slow breath in and out. And that's it. That's basically a awareness practice. Awareness is quite simple, really, if you think about it. It's just noticing, looking around, feeling without thinking, not judging, no emotions, just purely accepting and being in the moment. And if you feel comfortable, I want you guys to type one word in the chat that reflects what you noticed or the quality you chose to carry forward. Can be anything. Just one word in the chat. Put something in there, whatever you felt, whatever you noticed, whatever you understood, something. There's no right or wrong answer. Just put anything in there. Yeah, the present moment. It's very important. Yeah. Power, relax, positivity, persistence. hmm See, it's so interesting, you know? Each of us have experienced the same thing. I said the same things. Everyone followed essentially just what I said, right? But we all have different answers. And that's the beauty of it. Each experience is valid and valuable, and it's different to everyone. That's what's so cool about noticing and awareness. It's that it's in ourselves. We're looking at things inside of ourselves. See, they're still coming in calmness, consistency, resilience, positive. See, everything's different, but everything is valid and it's valuable. This is something that we understand from awareness. It's great. Yeah, love, gratitude, positive. It's great. Now, to wrap up, I don't have much time left. Awareness is simply noticing what's already there, you know, in ourselves and in our surroundings. Even a small moment of noticing can help us connect to our strengths and start to understand ourselves more deeply. It's something that I feel is the beginning of change. It's the beginning of understanding, and it's the beginning of truly embarking on a journey to help yourself and to help others. Thank you for taking this time to practice and for sharing a bit of your awareness in the group. Growth mindset, eyes notice, great. I'm very grateful that you guys are sharing these things and, sharing with everyone what you're feeling. So we'll continue building on this in the next part of our program. Back to you, Sakshi.
Thank you, Yoji, and for reminding us that peace, love, the goodness are not something outside we search for, it's already inside. And let us move ahead with the second step, contemplation. I invite mesmerizing Maria Paula from Colombia to take us on the journey of contemplation, will help us focus deeply on one quality, nurturing our self worth and inner strength. As the Dalai Lama says, the quality of our thoughts determines the quality of our life. Maria, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Sakshi, and thank you, Yuyi. And hello, everyone. It's such a joy to be here with you all from a very, very cold Bogota in South America. But it's really, again, an honor and a pleasure to be sharing with you. And we will be on a short but very powerful journey in this contemplation after we took awareness of where we are, of our present moment. So I want you to take us through today by the power of contemplation. And it is just more than, contemplate or watching, or as Gayatri said, like observing, but we're going to take us into experience where we are going to begin to shift from seeking, especially validation outside from our families, our culture, our friends, our peers, and we are going to start rediscovering our own resilience, and that is to connect step by step with one quality. And that quality I want you to connect with today is one that I feel every human being wants to experience constantly, and that is peace. So before that, and why contemplation is important? Because it gives us inner strength. But that inner strength to face, difficult situations or to face our own fears, our own inner world, first of all, and then um, reconnect with the world, with our life purpose, and starting acting from an inner essence, then we will find ourselves connecting with these four pillars, and they're very important. That's like the call of the time today. We need to start connecting with that beyond our limits, beyond everything, our fears, our own skills, and to really contemplate the essence of ourselves. So, the self worth, the first one, which sometimes, uh, I'm guessing that you all feel the same. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more, but it's connected with a deep sense of being valuable and lovable simply because of who we are. And that has been really helpful. I've been meditating with Brahma Kumaris since I was 11. And my experience is that, you know, is me first, like you said, like first is the self. Beyond the physical part, beyond what we see, what we have, is the self, the energy that moves us in everyday life. And then we move to self esteem, is how we see ourselves in our daily life. So it's very interesting how all of this is connected. But once we realize we are one thought away from our inner strength, from knowing who we are. And that is one special questions I want to ask you to keep reminding yourself, who are you? Who am I? I'm a peaceful being. Peace is the first, is the one of the main qualities. So I'm a peaceful being, and that allows us to observe, but not to absorb. And then we move to self-confidence, connected, very much connected with trusting in our own abilities, trusting I can do this, trusting I can do whatever I need to do to achieve my dreams. And then self-respect is also one of them, is my favorite one. Self-respect is like putting yourself in a throne, because this is actually, Raja Yoga, what Brahma Kumari is, what we practice daily is Raja Yoga, is to stay connected with our true self and then regain our sovereignty over our senses, over our thoughts, feelings, emotions, and then we regain that inner strength. So we contemplate everything here because it's very important to give us that space daily. Again, I say that's the call of the time now, is when we contemplate one quality of the self, like the ones you were sharing on the chat box before, such as peace. Let's focus on peace. We strengthen all of these pillars together. So it all begins with one thought. So now I want you to take, very much connected with what Yui was saying before with the awareness and what's coming next, that will give us power. But from now, we will contemplate. And I want you to just experience contemplation together. So now I invite you to sit comfortably. And if you like, you can just put your attention into this image very softly, very gently. And then take a slow, deep breath in and breathe out. And now allow your body to relax and your mind to become calm. Now let's invoke the quality that we want in our life. And for this exercise, we will connect with peace. Now imagine the quality of peace as a gentle light shining at the center of your being. It can be like this light that is beautiful, warm, light, like the sun. And this peace, this energy is already within you. It has always been there, constant and pure. This is merely a reflection of who you are. Notice how it feels that this peace expands in your mind and your heart. Allow this peace to remind you, I am valuable. I am enough. I am peace. I trust my own abilities. I honor myself. And very, very gently, you start feeling that from inside, your dignity, the dignity of the living being, is rising up. And it touches every part of you, like soft waves of light. Your self-worth, your self-respect, your confidence begins to grow. Now let yourself rest in this experience for a few silent moments. And now, gently bring back your awareness to the present moment. And as we close this part of contemplation, please share in the chat box the quality or the experience you strengthened just now. What is growing inside you? What is your mind, your heart feeling now? Let's just take a few seconds, and then when we are ready, we can share in the chat. We are present, we are reading you, we are feeling together. And remember that every word we have been sharing is like a mirror of our shared potential. And this is the power that we need to move on. And this is the power to really make a change. Peaceful, loved, relaxed, great, peaceful, understanding. That's very important, understanding myself. And let's just remember that contemplation is about focusing inward on one innate quality of the self. And you can, I really want to invite you to do this every morning, to feel connected with what's true in you. And then, sometimes we young people, we try to put us in a silos and in boxes because this group is like this and I have to behave like this. The key to have success in life is just to be ourselves, is to be authentic. And this journey of ACT, of ACT, is to allow the self to express in the most purest and beautiful way, so that we create that vibe of transformation that is the next step. So thank you for journeying contemplation with me. It's now time to move into the next step of our program. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria, for such a peaceful reflection. You reminded us that true confidence grows when we contemplate our true self. Thank you so much. Now we arrive at the most profound step of all, the third step, transformative silence. Now I invite Sweet Sayukta from US to guide us into the depth of silence where clarity and wisdom naturally arise. As one said, silence is a source of great strength. Sayukta, over to you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Sanyukta, but I go by Yuki. I was born and raised in Minnesota in the US, and I'm currently in Iowa for medical school. So today we're going to be practicing something called transformative silence. And transformative silence is more than just being quiet. It's a powerful space where we can step away from the noise of the world and even the constant chatter in our own minds. So in this silence, we can clearly see the difference between what is right and what is wrong, and what is true and false. But even more than that, it connects us with our deep source of strength, love, and clarity. From this space, we can draw the power to truly transform ourselves and to realign with who we want to be. So as a medical student, I carry the weight of a lot of responsibilities. My days are filled with memorizing endless amounts of content, and often I feel overwhelmed, frustrated by the pressure. And sometimes it feels like there's just no space to breathe. But it's in those moments that transformative silence has been my anchor. So instead of drowning in frustration, I can pause, close my eyes, step into silence, and then reconnect with myself. I remind myself of why I chose this path in the first place. And to me, that's to be the best doctor I can be and to serve and to heal. So this practice doesn't just calm me, it recenters me, it clears the fog and strengthens my heart so I can keep moving forward with purpose and with clarity. So now let's experience transformative silence together, and it will be through a guided meditation. It's very similar to contemplation, but here we'll be focusing on quieting the mind. That's the most important step. So please follow along with my words as much as possible, and we'll do this together. So first, sit upright with your feet flat on the ground and gently close your eyes or fixate on something in front of you. And let's start to calm your body first. Let's wiggle your toes slightly and then plant them firmly on the ground. Roll your shoulders back and away from the ears and release those tensions in your neck. And let your arms rest gently in your lap. Unclench your jaw and soften your face. Take a slow and deep breath in and let it out. Now let's bring calm to the mind. Bring your attention to a simple phrase. I am peace. Let's repeat it gently in your mind. I am peace. Thoughts come in, that's okay. Just notice them. Watch them drift by like clouds passing in the sky. And don't hold on. Now bring your awareness to the center of your forehead. Imagine a small, radiant light beginning to glow there. With every breath, the light becomes brighter and brighter. As this light expands, feel your body slowly fading into stillness. You are not just the body, you are this light. Pure, peaceful, powerful. This light is your strength. This light is your love. This light is your peace. And this light is your bliss. Let's sit in this awareness for a few moments of silence. Now gently bring yourself back. Take a deep breath in and out. Feel your feet on the ground again and notice the chair supporting you. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. So this gift of transformative silence is a place you can return to anytime, before an exam, in the middle of a stressful day, or when life feels heavy. And it's always within you, always available for you to when you need to recharge and realign yourself with your purpose. I know when I first started out doing this, it was really difficult because there's a lot of thoughts that come in and out, and it's hard to really focus. But I promise it gets easier, and I feel like it's a really good place to start when you're starting to study or starting to focus on something. So I invite everyone to practice this throughout the day. And yeah, thank you so much. Back to Sakshi.
Thank you, Sayabka, for that powerful journey into silence. Truly, silence is not empty, it's full of answers. Thank you so much. To gracefully close today's gathering, I now invite Ms. Ayako from Japan to give vote of thanks, appreciating everyone who made this program possible and sharing the next steps of InterAct.
Thank you, Shashi, and thank you everyone to be here with us. And as you can see, this initiative is made by youth, truly, and made for the youth. So thank you for 3 presenters, Yuji and Maria Paula, and beautiful meditations, Sanyokta. Thank you so much. And of course, Kelly, such a heartwarming icebreaker. It really breaks our, our barrier and open up our heart. Thank you so much. And of course, Sister Gayatri, with a lot of blessings and the inspiration for this project. So now I hand over to Murali, who is the father of this program, and he will tell us what is our next step. Over to you, Murari.
Thank you, Ayako, and thank you to the beautiful presenters. So this project, we call it InterAct with AAC&T, awareness, contemplation, and transformative silence. So the next step is what we're going to do is we want to do a pilot, a project in a few continents, all over the world. We will do it in Australia, one in Asia Pacific, and India, Africa, UK, Russia, North America, and South America. But prior to that, maybe around next month, early of next month, we'll have a train of trainers. We have identified few representatives from these areas, and we will do a train of trainers for them. And then they will actually do the pilot project in October and November. Then once the pilot project is done, then we have this data and we see how to bring it to the bigger mass. So what I would like you all to do is that, there's a QR code for you to register, to give in your email addresses. So once you have given us your email addresses, so we will communicate with you and update you where the pilot project is going on. It'll be good that if you can join us for the pilot project to experience it, right? And then we'll move on from there. Okay? So we really hope that all the youths in the world will really take benefit from this project. Okay? So thank you very much. I pass it over to Shakshi.
Thank you so much, Dr. Murli. And so on behalf of InterAct team, I extend my gratitude to our speakers, facilitators, and special thanks to all the youth leaders who have joined us today for the soft launch of InterAct on the special International Youth Day with so much of enthusiasm and love. So the journey continues, and follow us for reflections, exercises, and stories from all around the world. Stay connected who haven't registered yet. They do register. We have a QR code, we have a link in the chat box, and we will share PPT after this. And remember, rediscovering your core goodness is not just a one-time practice. It's a journey, a way of living. So let me leave you with this thought. Goodness is the only investment that never fails. So let's continue the practice and the way of living. So let's carry out the spirit of ACT, awareness, contemplation, and transformative silence into every action, into every interaction, and into every step of life. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. I conclude here the event is over. Thank you so much.
Okay, Subha. Play the music.